he betrays everybody. He is the most disloyal guy I ever met in my life. You don't want anybody like this around you. He betrays everybody. That's why I'm saying the only one that he shows any loyalty to is...
I walk in redemption.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good. Very, very blessed on this end. As always, I give all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving to our God for that. Well, we're embarking on a new year, exciting times. And you know, one of the things that you've really enjoyed throughout the past, I think 4 years now that I've been actively on YouTube, is my Mob Movie Mondays. It was a fan favorite, a follower favorite, I should say. Everybody loved it, and everybody's been asking me to bring it back. You know, the problem is there aren't many mob movies left for me to review, so I don't want to just make things up or get into another area, but I do have something special today, and a lot of people have been asking for it, so I'm going to review it today, and that is the series The Penguin. Remarkable series, just... different than anything that I've seen before. Very unique, but extremely well done. We're going to get into that. What a series. I'm telling you, it's so unique. I've never seen anything like it before. A lot of people are comparing it to The Sopranos in some way. Some slight similarities. I don't really get it. It's a totally different series. And I'm going to review it today. They did 8 episodes so far in season 1. They are doing a season 2. They have to. It was that good, that successful. People loved it. It's very dark. I can tell you right now. Very dark series. And normally I don't like things that are dark. But I got into this because it's so unique. Colin Farrell, I have to tell you this before I go any further. The character that Colin Farrell plays, he plays Oswald Cobb, who is the Penguin, but he is just brilliant. I mean, absolutely brilliant. And the makeup, if you didn't know that it was Colin Farrell by name, you wouldn't know it was him. Whoever is doing the makeup on that has done a phenomenal job. I understand he spends 3 hours every episode in makeup, and it tells. The walk, the way we see his foot, why he's the Penguin, but it's just unbelievable, and he has just killed the role, and I mean that in a good sense. He's been unbelievably great in it, and that's what keeps my attention. Now, as a character, I don't know if he's got any redeeming qualities at all, and please, if you think he does, let me know. Maybe one. He loves his mother and takes care of his mother throughout the series. She's had a tremendous influence on him, an impact on him. And, you know, it brings me back to, my interview recently, my sit-down, I like to call them sit-downs, with Gene Simmons, and how his mom in reality had such an impact on him. And I think many of us watching this can say that now, whether it be good or bad, and hopefully good. Our moms really have an impact on us. Tony Soprano, his mom had a major impact on him in that television series. And that's one similarity I think we can point out between The Penguin, and Sopranos. Their moms on the main character had a tremendous impact, and they were, bigger than life characters. You have to say that. But I'm going to review it. Let me, for those of you who haven't seen it, I advise you to watch it. It's an HBO production. They do everything brilliantly. I don't know if any of you are watching, but during the holiday season, there was a whole recap of Game of Thrones. What a brilliant series. Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Penguin, so many. HBO just nails it. When they do it, they do quality stuff. Have to say that. The way The Penguin came about, if you saw the Batman in the last Batman, 2022, I think Robert Pattinson played the Batman. At the end of that series, the Riddler breaks the seawall in Gotham City, which is the main town that this is, geographically about, breaks the seawall, and the whole city of Gotham is flooded. Mass destruction, crime on the streets, all the power goes out in certain neighborhoods. It's a mess, right? The Riddler does that. Well, the Penguin series starts where that left off. And the writers are brilliant, of course. I mean, so many brilliant writers in these television series, really, but just brilliant to think of this whole thing. And I want to tell you people that don't like comic book things and superheroes, this is not at all a superhero thing. This is a crime dramatic series, for sure. And at least in the first episode, I don't know if Batman is ever going to appear again. I think there's a little hint at the end of the series that Catwoman might be showing up in season 2. I don't know. That remains to be seen. But no other superheroes have come about. This is a crime drama series. How it turns out, after the destruction, there's a real vacuum in the organized crime in the city. And there's 2 major Of course, they got to bring the mafia in, or some semblance of the mafia. There's two families that basically control the city, the Falcones and the Meronis. Not original Italian names, but I get it. They're kind of at warring with one another. The major form of business there, or their business, is drugs. Now, let me tell you this right now, and I know I'm going to get disagreement, but I'm going to say it. We, Cosa Nostra, were not major drug dealers. And I'll say it again, and people point out Vito Genovese. Yes, there were people doing drugs. We were not major drug dealers. The Sicilian Mafia, they put us to shame. They were drug dealers. Maybe still are. Don't know. Major drug dealers. The Mexican cartels, major drug dealers. We don't even do 1% of what they did in drugs. Trust me on that. But in this series, their major source of income, or their major product, was drugs. So it's built around that. And it seems that in the Falcones, and one of them really stands out, another one. Her name is Cristin Milioti, and she plays Sofia Falcone. She is the daughter of the former boss of the Falcone family, which is another crazy story. Like I say, this is very dark. Everything is dark. It's unbelievable in that regard. Anyway, she was in a mental institution. Why was she there? Her father was a serial killer, the head of the family. He caused a number of deaths, strangulation, everything, and he actually killed his wife, her mother. She didn't know this. But when she finally finds out about it, he puts her in a mental institution. Bad guy, obviously. He puts her in a mental institution for 10 years. And during that time, she undergoes all sorts of, crazy stuff that they do to her in there. He didn't care. He let it happen, right? She gets out after 10 years, but she figures something out. Mushrooms were a source of a new drug that's going to be put out on the street that she knows about. And she tells her brother, she has a brother, she tells her brother about it. And our main character, the Penguin, Oswald Cobb, he's with the Falcones at one point. He's not a made guy, but he's one of their associates. And he happens to be talking to the boss's son, and the boss's son tells him about this mushroom, this new thing that's going to revolutionize the drug industry for them on the streets. And during that conversation, the boss's son threatens the Penguin. The Penguin kills him. That's it. Shoots him right then and there. Long, crazy story. He figures out, he betrays everybody. He is the most disloyal guy I ever met in my life. You don't want anybody like this around you. He betrays everybody. That's why I'm saying the only one that he shows any loyalty to is his mother. She's got this thing over him. It's his mother. And by the way, he killed his two younger brothers. We find that out as the series goes on. He was jealous of them for some reason. When the city was drowning, because of the flood, he locked them in a sewer and they ended up drowning. His mother didn't know that originally. She finds out later on. She goes a little bit crazy, but she never says anything about it. I don't know why. Maybe she wants to keep the relationship with her son. All this bears out over the eight episodes, right? Anyway, Sofia takes control of the family. How does she do that? At some point, she kills every other member of her family. She gasses them in the house at a dinner that they're having. She takes over. She's ruthless. She's psychotic. She kills people at the drop of a hat. Crazy. She finds out that the Penguin actually killed her brother, and she loved her brother, and now it's revenge time. And they go back and forth. They're friends. They're not friends. It's a whole thing that happens here. And the Penguin, who realizes that his life was in danger when Sofia finds out that he killed her brother, he goes over to the Meronis. And the boss of the Meroni is another crazy guy. These families are both, forget about it. They don't resemble the real mob families in any which way, shape, or form. But anyway, he goes over, tries to make a deal with them. They don't really like him. The boss of the Meronis doesn't really like him, but he goes along because he hears about this new drug, and on and on and on. And throughout this series, the Penguin is betraying everybody. The guy is masterful. He gets himself almost killed, I don't know how many times, and somehow wiggles his way out of it. Every bad situation he gets in, he's able to wiggle his way out of it. And, he's betraying both families always. He's making deals and then breaking deals, making deals and then breaking deals. The one relationship that's really unique, after he kills the brother of the boss, the brother of Sofia, the boss's son, he goes out, he's taking the body away and he's going to dump it. And when he's bringing the body down to his car, he sees these kids that were trying to take the wheels off his car, some little gangsters in the neighborhood, right? So he chases them all away and he grabs a hold of one of them and he's going to kill this kid, but then he decides not to. There's something in him that he sees and that he likes. And this kid, his name is Victor, brilliant actor also, does a great job, becomes the driver for the Penguin as the series goes on. He becomes very loyal. He becomes a killer. He'll do anything for the Penguin. He wants to please him. He wants to be part of the gang. So the Penguin now gets himself in trouble with both the Falcones and the Meronis, who happen to get themselves together. Sofia goes to the boss of the Meronis, and they now come together to go after the Penguin because they know the Penguin has this new drug also, is going to get this new drug. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I'm really breezing through it, because it's 8 episodes and you should watch them all before season 2 comes about so you fully know what's going on in the series. But it gets very interesting in the last 2 episodes, 7 and 8, because a lot of stuff happens there. Basically, at the end of episode 8, as close as he was to Victor, he ends up killing Victor because he thinks Victor knows too much. What he's doing during this time, he's putting his own gang together. And since the Meronis and the Falcones have come together, he gets all the smaller gangs in the neighborhood and he brings them all together. And he says, listen, the Falcone, and it's a brilliant scene. The way he orated this scene was brilliant. He says, look, the Falcones and the Meronis are getting together. Why should we let them take over the city? I got this brand new drug that's going to revolutionize the drug business. We're going to keep it all for ourselves, but we got to band together. So he gets all of these smaller gangs to band together with him. Very smart and cunning the way he does it. And he says, we're now going to go against the Meronis and the Falcones. And then he actually betrays them again. He betrays even the little gangs. And I'm not going to give you the whole storyline, but he gets some of them killed with the Falcones and the Meronis. But then what happens, he happens to capture Sofia in the end. He gets a hold of her and he's going to have her killed. He doesn't have her killed. He ends up putting her back in a mental institution towards the end. So she doesn't win out. Sofia loses. The Meroni guy, the head of the Meroni family, Penguin was going to get killed. He reverses it. He kills the boss of the Meroni family. So at the end of this, his mom now goes crazy. She's in a mental institution. He gets her out of that mental institution. He is now taking over the city with his drug and these smaller gangs. He ends up winning. He beats the Falcones. He beats the Meronis. And now what he does, he takes this penthouse suite on top of one of the clubs that the Falcones used to own. And he brings his mother up there because she always wanted to live in a penthouse suite. And she brings him up there. She's out of her mind. She's got dementia or whatever. She can't even function. And we see at the very end, he's dressed in a tuxedo. He's got his mom looking out the penthouse window. And that's it. So this character ends up, beating everybody, betrays everybody, kills the kid closest to him. That was disgusting. This kid would have died for him. As a matter of fact, he killed for him. He did everything. He ends up killing him in the end because he knew too much. He's a very dark character. He doesn't have loyalty to anybody but his mother. He betrays everybody throughout the whole series. Really terrible guy. It's so dark. There's nobody other than this kid, Victor, who really had a sense of love and loyalty for the Penguin. For some reason, he got it with him. There's really no redeeming characters in this entire series. Not one. Not one. The mother, you can't like her because she's nuts. She's crazy. Sofia, crazy. Psychotic killer. The boss of the Meronis, don't like him at all. He doesn't even look good. He's not in any way a resemblance of a mob boss, I can tell you that. So the two mafia families that they portray here, ridiculous. First of all, Sofia taking over the family, never going to happen. She kills everybody that's close to her. She kills her whole family. She's psychotic. She's a nut. But very interesting. She keeps you riveted. You got to watch her. You want to see what is this crazy woman going to do next. The same thing with the Penguin. What is he going to do next? Who is he going to betray? How's he going to get out of this mess he's got himself into? Victor, wow, he's killing people for Penguin. He was a kid on the streets. What? And then he gets killed. I mean, so dark, really so dark. And the little comparison to the Sopranos, again, I compare the mother thing, the mother-son thing, the impact the moms had on them, unbelievable. And the other thing I have to say, with Victor and the Penguin, you can kind of look at Tony and Christopher. You know, Tony, really took care of Christopher, really tried. Christopher was a nut job. You know, he was a drug addict. He did what he did. But Tony always protected him, really did. And they had kind of the same, kind of feeling towards, those two characters, Penguin towards Victor and Tony towards Christopher. But that's where the resemblance stops. I mean, look, in The Sopranos, there wasn't constant betrayal. I think we had one guy that became a snitch, the gay guy, I believe. And of course, Pussy, I should say, he became a snitch also, kind of reluctant, but that's reality in that life. And of course, Drea, who I interviewed, who you loved, she was a terrific interview, terrific sit down, I have to say. She was a very reluctant informant. And you know what happened to her? She ended up getting killed. But The Sopranos, that's where it ends. I mean, there's no really resemblance to this crime drama series, The Penguin, but a lot of people, for some reason, are seeing similarities. I don't really see it other than what I mentioned. But do I recommend the series? Absolutely. If you're into some dark stuff and you just want to see something totally unique and you don't have to focus on Marvel characters because they're not, it's a crime series, I would say watch it. Okay, there's 8 episodes. Figure it out, HBO or HBO Plus, wherever you can see it. I would definitely watch it and get prepared for season 2. Who knows what's going to happen there? Like I said, I think Catwoman might be coming into play. Will Batman ever return? Who knows? It's Gotham City. All of a sudden, Batman is gone, Will he return? Will he ultimately defeat the Penguin? Is the Penguin ever going to be defeated? Who knows? The Meronis and the Falcones, they seem to be gone. All these street gangs, in my view, he's probably going to betray them too. If the series stays consistent, he's betrayed everybody. But at some point in time, this guy has got to meet with his demise. I believe that. They just can't let this character live and go on in Gotham. Whether Batman comes or some other superhero comes at some point, who knows? But brilliant series. I do recommend it for those of you that are into crime. I definitely recommend it. It's brilliant. And I'm anxious to see season 2. So you got a little bit of Mob Monday. This is kind of a mob thing. We're going to probably show this on a Tuesday or a Thursday. I don't know. But I am going to try to get back to the Mob Monday series or the Mob series or the reviews of movies. Let me ask you this, and please tell me in the comment section, what if I just reviewed great movies? If you go on Netflix or you go on some of these other streaming platforms, every other movie at least is a crime drama. That's it. That's what people want to see. So if you're not too, bent or hell-bent on the mob movies and you want me to review crime movies and crime series, I could do that. If you want my take on it, if you want me to compare it to others, compare it to reality, compare it to what's going on the street today, compare it to some of the Venezuelan gangs, whatever, I can do all of that and I can give you my take on the series. If you want that, put it in the comment section and we'll bring it back, I promise you, because like I said, it was always a favorite. We just ran out of movies. So one more thing, people. Just spoke to my good friend, my dear friend, I should say, Chazz Palminteri. Everybody knows Chazz from The Bronx Tale and all these other great movies. Analyze this, analyze that, whatever. Great friend. I love the guy. And I don't know if you know this, but the movie The Bronx Tale originated from Chazz's one-man show called The Bronx Tale. And what Chazz did in that show, and this is like 35 years ago, he played every single character. And he's been doing that one-man show for the past 33 years, I believe. Very successfully. He's had a longer run with that show and continues than Broadway, than shows on Broadway. Unbelievable. He's brilliant in it. And the story goes, the true story is that Robert De Niro had once seen him many, many years ago in that Bronx Tale doing the one-man show. And he flipped out and he said, this has got to be a movie. That's how the movie came about. But he's been doing this show. Listen, anybody that can do a show that long and do it so well and still attract major audiences, unbelievable. But here's the exciting thing. He has actually filmed the one-man show. He had to do that because this is his legacy and it's brilliant. And it's got to live on past him, beyond what the movie has done. And it's going to be coming out on streaming platforms pretty soon. I'm going to get all the information. I'm going to sneak preview a trailer to you when I get it. He's going to send it to me. So, and I'll be talking about this. You got to see the show on the streaming platform. It's going to be brilliant. You're going to love it. I've seen it twice already and I can watch it again. It's that good. So it'll be coming up and you'll get an exclusive shot at that pretty soon. That's it for today, my friends. Once again, I want to thank all of you. And listen, I really hope you have a terrific 2025. You know, we have a reset coming in this country. Who knows what's coming up next? It's going to be exciting. I can tell you there's going to be a lot of changes in this new administration. No question about that. Some of you are happy, some of you are not. I think most of the country is. And let's see how it goes. But I have high hopes. I really do. I think America's coming back and coming back in a strong way. And that means every household will benefit, all the working class people will benefit, everybody will benefit. And that's what we want. You know, we really want that, people. So that's it. So how do I always leave you? Same way. Never going to change. Be safe. You know, ladies, how I feel about that. Just watch your surroundings. Very, very important today. Be healthy. I keep talking about RFK. Some people think he's a little nutty with his conspiracy theories. I don't know about that, but if he can bring health back to the United States, we are the most obese country in the world. Do you know that? And that's because of all the junk we have in our foods. Can't do it. Go to Europe and eat. I guarantee you can eat as much as you want. You're not going to gain any weight. That's what happens. The truth. We've done it many times. Be safe. Be healthy. Of course, I mean this. God bless each and every one of you. I have to do a shout out to Denzel Washington. I'm so proud of that guy. Don't know him. We're not friends. But he was baptized publicly. He speaks out about his faith. He's bucking the Hollywood trend. He's not worried about any of that stuff. Denzel, congratulations. God bless you. And thank you for being so bold and speaking what you feel, because God has to come back into this country. Be safe. What else do I say? Be healthy. God bless each and every one of you for the new year. God bless your families. God bless your friends, your neighborhoods, your activities, and everything else. Yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.